Hello, amazing people in the world. Happy day. So listen, I want to actually do a psychological deep dive into belief. And I think this could actually help optimize your understanding of, one, how Neville defines the state. So this is like a part 2 on what is the state according to Neville. But I think understanding that, even if you're just like listening and you don't follow Neville's work, is understanding that our body of beliefs are what manifest, right? It is not the emotions. It is not the thoughts, okay? It's the body of beliefs. But what does that mean? And what are a body of beliefs, right? So you have to understand that one belief is never one belief. It never is. So one belief creates an ecosystem of other beliefs, okay? So what that means is you're creating a belief, and don't worry, I'll give you an example, of course, but one belief always begets, I know it's an old school biblical Hebrew word, but it just means births, right? So one is that there's a single belief, and then that belief creates other beliefs, and that belief, that set of beliefs creates other set of beliefs and other set of beliefs and other set of beliefs and other set of beliefs. And notice how I'm creating a circle. I know my geometric shapes. So what it does, and that's why I call it an ecosystem, because it's not an open ecosystem. It's a closed ecosystem. So for those of you who are like, I don't know what he's talking about, let me make sense of that, okay? So if I believe, for example, the world is a dangerous place, okay? Then all of my phrases, all of the ways in which I'm going to feel emotionally about the world when I'm in the world is going to be very much framed by how I interpret what the world is. So again, start here. So you start with this idea the world is not safe. So then you start claiming, I don't feel safe. Then you start claiming, oh, look at the news. Oh, look at what happened to my friend. Oh, look at the school shooting. Oh, look at, and so then what you've done is you've created a closed loop, okay? And that closed loop ends up not giving you an exit, right? Because that's one belief that begets other beliefs and begets other beliefs. And by the way, this is just one example. There's actually more beliefs that I'm actually not deep diving into that literally reinforce this idea that I don't feel safe in the world, okay? And remember, it is the I, or the I am, right? The I, which is consciousness, and then the am, which wears this, right? Wears whatever you claim about yourself, right? And then this is what it wears. So it's like, I am powerful. Okay, well then you're going to start out now forming beliefs where you actually experience that power and see that power, okay? And what that does is that actually kicks on a part of your brain called the reticular activating system, okay? So that's like when you're hanging out with your friends and you're like, ooh, I want to grab a Jeep one day. Like, I want to get a Jeep. And then everywhere you go for like days and days, you're like, I spotted a Jeep. I see a Jeep, right? That's just telling your brain to, hey, wake up and pay attention because this is important to me, okay? So that's what a belief is. It's saying, hey, brain, wake up because this is what's important to me, right? And so when you do this, though, is you create a belief chain or a linkage or a connection or a correlation between one set of beliefs with another set of beliefs, with another set of beliefs, with another set of beliefs. And then, lo and behold, the more you repeat these beliefs, you have an identity, right? And that's your state. That's really what Neville means when he says the state is what manifests, not your emotions or your thoughts, okay? And this is very, very key because I think a lot of people freak out because they're like, I just had a thought. Oh my gosh, I've literally am going to manifest that. Or they have like a bad emotion. Oh my gosh, I'm going to manifest that, right? And so that's not what you're going to manifest. It is, but why is it that sometimes you'll run into manifestations that are quicker, whether it's bad or good, but why are some quick and some aren't? Okay, this is very, very key, and I'm going to go into this in another video even more. But one of the main reasons is because your default state, your default body of beliefs that we just kind of deconstructed, right, is your dominant way of thinking about the world or yourself, or other people, and so on, okay? And so what that means is you manifest from that easier because that's your dominant, right? Or more powerful set of beliefs that you've accepted about yourself or possibility or money or love or whatever it is, right? And so ultimately, this is why many people might struggle, is because one, you've created this linkage, this circular loop of beliefs that are supporting each other. Okay, so then you need to deconstruct these, right? And you need to impress your subconscious or the mind with different beliefs, okay? And for all intents and purposes, the more that you do this, meaning the more that you cycle through these beliefs and you accept them as true, the subconscious is just going to accept that, okay? And remember, the subconscious or God or whatever you want to call it, right? The law, right? The vortex, whatever, is always saying yes to you, right? And so when you say, I'm afraid of the world, yes, okay. But then when you say, I feel safe in the world, yes, right? And so you are fundamentally creating a belief system that you live by. Now, by the way, and I didn't go as deep in this one, but that's just one example. That's just one example of a closed loop set of beliefs, okay? And that's just, so then you have a closed set loop of beliefs that are about money. You have a closed set loop of beliefs about fun. You have closed set of beliefs about cars and so on and so forth, right? And so all we're doing is we're cycling through our sets of beliefs about everything, okay? And so I think being fully aware of that, and then also being fully aware of that, that's what Neville does, or that's what he is explaining when he defines that a state is a set or a body of beliefs, right, that we consent to. And again, I love that, and I'll say this almost every video, is that I love that he says consent to, because that means you have freedom. You have freedom to choose the beliefs that serve you. You have freedom to choose the beliefs that you no longer want to have and you want to give up. You have freedom to choose to change these beliefs, okay? You have to really believe that, because if you don't, you're just going to live in this cycle. You're going to live in that cycle, and that's unfair to you and other people, right? And so what you have to also come to is, I deserve to change these beliefs. Because if you come in and you're trying to visualize or manifest, or you're using the imagination, right? And we're going to go into another one where I do kind of deep dive into a difference between visualization and manifestation. Sometimes you might hear me using the same thing, but there is a difference between using the imaginary scenes versus visualization, right? So, and also daydreaming. We're going to go into all that psychological stuff. So, hope this was helpful. Let me give you, obviously I like to give tips. So what I want to do is I'm actually going to use a tip from Neville himself, which most of these are. And that is from his radio lecture on meditation. And this is not going to be an easy one. This will not be an easy one, because he himself even said, like, this is harder than the plowman, which is the metaphor for the Bible, right? The metaphor for the guy in the Bible. My gosh, what's going on with me? All right, so what I want to do is I want to talk to you about that, but here's the caveat. If you want to take this seriously, this will take you time, okay? But it's worth it. It's completely worth it. It's something I'm in the middle of, and I'm starting to see changes. So what I want to encourage you to do is take this with a grain of salt, meaning this is too advanced for me and I'm not going to do it. So then you might need a different method or technique, which I share in many other videos. But the way he approaches meditation is that he would literally just sit in, and what he would, and this is his explanation, is that he would take the time to essentially just control his thoughts and control his attention, right? And he would guide it. And he said, listen, this is difficult. This is hard, right? And so I love that he said that, because again, I'm really against the consumer approach to this. Like, all right, manifest your SP in 4 minutes. Nope. Right? Can you? If that's your dominant body of beliefs, if that's your dominant state, that an SP is easy to manifest, 100%. If it's not, you won't. Okay? And that's not meant to be discouraging. It's meant to actually be encouraging and being like, oh, okay, so that just means I need to do the work that's involved to be able to get what I know that I believe and deserve. Okay? And again, you're going to hear stories, but look for stories where that is the case. If you want to build a belief that you can manifest an SP that quick, you're going to have to look for stories. You're going to look for examples. Remember, that's called selective hearing, according to Neville. Okay. But what you want to do is you want to do the work of meditation every day. But part of this meditation practice is that you are literally guiding every thought. And this is what Neville says. This is him guiding every thought. Okay. And every emotion and every movement of himself within. So if you feel a thought, all right, or sorry, if you're experiencing a thought, you change it. If you experience an emotion you don't want to, you sit there and you change it, right? And same with memory. You recall a memory, you're revising that memory in the moment, okay? So this is one way, yes, time consuming, but worth it, because again, you get this right, you have the best life ahead of you ever, right? So hope this was extremely helpful in terms of more of a psychological breakdown of beliefs, but also trying to fully understand and grasp Neville's concept of the state. And there's actually more to it as well. And of course, you're going to see more videos on this. But I always hope that these are helpful to you. And if you're looking for coaching, get in touch. And yes, thank you so much for your support, and hope to speak to you soon.